Today is a pretty awesome day because beside me is a Lexus LC500, specifically a 2022. And this is one of those cars where if you are not a car person, you have no idea what this thing is. And even if you are a car person, if you haven't looked into this car, specifically all of the details with this thing, then you're gonna fall in love with it. Let's check it out. Now in this video, obviously we're gonna be going for a drive, looking at the interior, talking about the performance and the performance, I can't wait for that. But first, we have to talk about this design. This is a bit of a weird looking car, but if you know its origins, it's actually really cool. This is based on the LFLC from 2012, which stands for Lexus Future Luxury Coupe. And if you look at the pictures of that concept car, this is what that is. This is basically a real-life concept car design. Now, first and foremost, you obviously have the infamous hourglass-looking Lexus grille. I think this thing, I mean, it kind of just screams luxury. You don't even have to see the big L in the front for Lexus. You just look at the grille, you kind of know what you're looking at. But the thing that makes the LC500 the LC500 is what I like to call this little teardrop here. Now, for me, when I look at this, I don't think it makes the car look sad. It makes it more like it's sad that you're losing the race that you're in because of what's under this hood. And we will pop this hood in a second, but looking at the front as a whole, I mean, it takes a while to grow on you, I feel like. It just has much more of a luxury styling to it. It's not really aggressive or ultra sporty, but it has that nice sporty touch. Just priority is luxury, in my opinion, with how this is designed. And also, obviously, a massive front end to fit the huge V8 that's under this thing. And a wee bit of a complaint here, not really a complaint because we're talking about an LC500, but this thing is very, very low to the ground. I mean, just my hand with the back of my hand touching it, my fingers standing up, I'm already hitting the splitter of this car. So if you are gonna be in an area with a lot of dips and bumps and all that, don't buy this. I also really love these lines going down this hood and how sharp the headlights are. I mean, this is what kind of gives it the sporty look, is this headlight design. Now up front here, you have pretty massive 21-inch wheels, again, giving it that luxury sort of look and ride quality. The front width tires are gonna be 245, which is not very wide at all, but all of the power is sent to the back, so that's what matters. As for brakes, you can see these brakes are pretty dang massive. I think it would look cool if the caliper was coated in the same color as the paint, but all good. This thing can stop fast if you needed to. You'll see when we go for a drive. Now in the back, again, you're working with massive 21-inch wheels, and to cover the wheel design really quick, I think it looks good. It looks simple. The black goes with pretty much any color, so you can't go wrong with black wheels. A bit smaller brakes in the back, as you'd expect, and the width for the tires back here is 275. So we've seen a lot wider on this channel, but when you learn how heavy this car is, but also how much power it makes, you realize these tire widths are pretty fitting for this car, although again, when we go for a drive, you might see the traction light come on a few times. Now, taking a look at the side profile of this car as a whole, I want to point out that little vent right on the side. I think that is a perfect touch to the design of this car. Lexus is known for just being sleek and pretty undercover, and that is, you look at this design, that's partially why no one would know this is a super fast, meaty V8 under the hood. So I am a big fan of the design because that's what kind of car this is. Simple, luxurious, and a sleeper. Now, looking at the back end of this car, this might be my favorite angle or view of this car because all I look for is that nice LC500 badge with those fat exhaust tips and pretty infamous taillights as well. Also, I think the top portion of the back end of this car is kind of spaceship-like. You can look at an LC500 and you should know that you're looking at an LC500 and not any other Lexus. Also, quick fact about the exhaust note of this car, Lexus worked with Yamaha to tune the sound of the exhaust. And oh my gosh, it is one of the most beautiful notes I have ever heard in my life. Also, it's worth pointing out, just like in the front, in the rear, you have this sort of teardrop design. Now, I'm gonna pop in the interior and open this hood so we can take a look at what occupies all that space in the front. But I do wanna point out these door handles. I love the sleekness of these flat door handles here. The Lamborghini Huracan actually has the exact same design. All you do is push on the far end of it, and that pops out, and you are able to open it up. And this interior, guys, is ridiculously luxurious. We'll cover that in a second. All right, under this hood is a 5-liter naturally aspirated Japanese-made V8. This thing makes 471 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque. Those are some very solid numbers. However, my one minor complaint is due to the fact this car does weigh 4,340 pounds. Over 4,000 pounds. It's not as fast as you may think when you hear 471 horsepower. Again, to the average person, this thing will feel very, very, very fast. But when you drive something that weighs 3,500 pounds with the same horsepower number, you realize that extra 700, 800, 900 pounds does weigh it down a little bit. Now, what's awesome about this engine is the fact that because it's Japanese made, it is extremely reliable. This is the same 5-liter V8 that's in the IS500 and the RCF. And by the way, if you want a V8 coupe or V8 4-door sedan, your options are starting to become extremely, extremely limited. The LC500 is just one of very, very few choices to get a naturally aspirated V8 in a coupe in today's world. Without further ado, guys, let's hop behind the wheel of the LC500 and take this thing for a drive. And by the way, the sun just came out, and now that it's hitting the paint, I realized how much sparkle is in this paint. I hope you can see that through the camera here. It is, oh my gosh. All the subtle touches to this car is amazing, guys. Blacked out roof, again, just the sparkle along the pillar here. Chrome trim. Let's go ahead and open up the door and get presented with this beautiful, beautiful interior. Guys, if you want a V8, like I mentioned earlier, you can choose the IS500, you can choose the RCF, but the LC500 takes things to the next level. I've driven the RCF, and that was an absolutely awesome experience, but as soon as you hop in this thing, first of all, I do want to say, if you do build your LC500 online, you can configure literally everything. Whether it's the door sill, whether it's a heated steering wheel, whether it is a full Alcantara paint-matched roof like this one has. I mean, oh my gosh. You're never going to touch the roof, but, well, I guess we are now because I noticed it is full Alcantara. What in the world? All right. As soon as you hop in here, you go to start it up. Seat moves forward, steering wheel lowers a little bit, which, by the way, there's a button right here to put the steering wheel in the exact position you want it. Obviously, it is automatic. I mean, you just pretty much tell the car what you want, what kind of settings you want. You're presented with a concierge option in the infotainment screen. If that does not tell you how luxurious this car is, I really don't know what else does. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. You even have a adjustable spoiler setting right here, whether you want to raise or lower the rear spoiler. There is so much luxury. Guys, I just got done reviewing the Ferrari Portofino, and stepping in this thing, I'm like, why is the Ferrari Portofino so much more expensive than this? If you want a used Lexus LC500, you are looking at a starting price of right around $70,000 if you're looking at a good condition one. $70,000, and you get the ultimate Grand Touring experience. I don't even talk much about how it drives, we will in a second. By the way, first of all, weird operational things inside of this car. First of all, infotainment screen, not touch screen. You do have to use this touchpad here, and people complain about the Lexus infotainment screen controls. It is a little bit annoying, but you spend some time with it, you do get used to it. You know, I find it luxurious using a touchpad. I kind of like it. I don't know, weird, like, sort of preference, I guess. You got a nice Lexus clock right there. I always look at those as like your own personal like Rolex. Oh my gosh, very strange placement of the climate vents, by the way. That is odd. Obviously your glove box right here, which even in there is lined with suede, because why not? Even the trim here, guys, oh my gosh. Back seats, even back there, you just have amazing materials and comfort for your backseat passengers. Now it looks like there's no room back here. This passenger seat is scooted back all the way. If you do raise it up some, you could fit 4 adults in here, maybe not super comfortably. You're going to want to be on the shorter side, if you will, but nonetheless, it is an option for you. Okay, when you go to put this thing in drive, it's very strange how this works. You can see it does give you some instructions here, but like to go into reverse, you pull this over, you push it up, and you're in reverse. You can see the backup camera right there, which is not all that nice, but it is there. If you want to go in drive, again, you push it over and then down. And if you didn't push it down, it would have just gone in neutral. Additionally, if you want to use the paddle shifters, just push this down and now you are in manual mode. So kind of weird with the gear lever. Reminds me of like how a BMW would work. I did put my tripod back in here. Okay, want to make sure I wasn't running it over. So yeah, that is a little bit strange. I do kind of prefer just a simple like up down, although yeah, that gives me more of like a truck feeling, but still, I don't know. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on the road here. You have all of your adjustable drive mode settings up here. And guys, let me tell you, right when you get rolling in this thing, I literally feel like I'm in a Rolls Royce. I mean, it is so soft, so luxurious, and so quiet when you want it to be. I own a Lexus ES350. And when I stepped in that car, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this thing rides nicely. Then I step in the LC500, and I was introduced to levels of luxury that I was not even aware of. When I go over speed bumps or rough roads in this compared to my very nice Lexus ES350, this thing feels like it is just wafting over the road. Now, on this channel, we primarily review sports cars. The reason this is on the channel and we're driving it right now is because I'm gonna call this a sports car. But what is so awesome is just how dual personality this car is. Should we go left? Let's go right. As I was saying, it is very, very dual personality. When you want to just cruise in complete luxury, you can. When you want to floor it, let's pop it over into Sport Plus, not just Sport. That was my bad, kind of short. The car shifted and then I hit the pedal a millisecond later, so sorry about that. We're going to do some hard pulls, don't worry. But oh my gosh, guys, the exhaust note of this car is, it has got to be one of the top 3 sounding V8 exhaust notes that you can buy. Oh my gosh. And then again, 471 horsepower. Would I call this car fast? Very close to it. But again, that's just because we've been reviewing some insane cars recently. I'm used to these ultra high horsepower numbers at this point, so not fair. But for anyone that is not used to 400, 500, 600 horsepower, you hop in this thing, it is going to feel very, very fast. I'd call it criminal to call this thing slow. And we're gonna do another hard pull right here. Ready? Just open your ears. Open your ears. I did it again. I apologize. There we go. That was more like it. perfection. This is a stock exhaust. What in the world? The best way I can describe the sound of this 5-liter V8 is just monstrous. If I was not aware this was a 5-liter V8, I would guess this is like, it just gives me like 12-liter V8 vibes. I don't know if that makes any sense. This thing just sounds meaty, so meaty. Great visibility in here as well. And guys, there is nothing like letting this thing just hit the rev limiter for about half a second before you shift. The way it sounds bouncing off the rev limiter is just to die for, to die for. You don't need Bluetooth, you don't need music, you need this. And normally, I get a little upset when I'm driving on these types of roads, but this is what this car is for, guys. 4,340 pounds, you don't want to be taking this on super curvy roads. I mean, trust me, I did take a pretty sharp turn in this thing at right around its probably limit, and it just wasn't enjoyable. It doesn't give you that confidence, and you don't want to be driving this car in a way it doesn't want to be driven. This is the ultimate grand tourer. Yes, it does like that you know, the semi-curvy roads, but it doesn't like super hard, sharp turns over and over and over again. Also, look at this turning radius, guys. What in the world? And seriously, guys, the moment you just are like, okay, let's settle it down. Let's toss it over into comfort. There are very noticeable things that happen. Suspension becomes softer. Steering becomes much easier to maneuver. The whole car, I haven't driven a Rolls Royce, but this is how I envision a Rolls Royce would feel. You're just sort of like absent from the road. You're just floating on a cloud. Just put one finger on the steering wheel, forget about all your problems, and you also have very good speakers. So if you are taking a break from listening to the musical instrument that is the LC500, and you just want to listen to your own music, slap on Bluetooth, and the bass and the quality of the sound that comes out of those speakers is just as fitting as the luxurious ride that you get in the LC500. Now, I want to quickly cover why you would get an LC500. If you're looking at an IS500 or an RCF, they're going to make equally as amazing exhaust tones. They're going to feel around equally as fast because they weigh around the same. But the reason you get the LC500 is because you want to live in luxury. You want the best of both worlds. You want that insane V8, but you also want to forget that you have the insane V8 and just ride, I don't know, 2 hours to the mountains or an hour to work. I hope you don't have to drive an hour in work, but with traffic, maybe. This would be the ultimate car to sit in traffic like we are right now or take a long drive in because you're just happy. If you're bored, start touching the materials. Start playing with the switches here because everything feels so amazing. Appreciate you guys for watching this. Let me know if you are looking to actually buy this car. Let me know what your thoughts of this car are, and if you do own one, please comment below your ownership experience of this car. I can imagine you probably never had a dang problem with this thing in your entire life, because it's Lexus. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon in the next video. Peace out.